Hi, Assalamu alaikum. Sulaiman Rahim here. Welcome. Critical analytics. Today we're going to discuss current events. That's the purpose of critical analytics, to discuss current events in a critical analytical way from different perspectives. Try to bring the world into focus from every perspective, from the mathematical perspective, the social perspective, the religious perspective, the political perspective, from every perspective, except from the belief perspective. We don't deal with beliefs here. We deal with faith. Faith is not belief. Faith is tethered to facts. Belief is whatever. I believe Superman came from Krypton or something. Those are beliefs. That's different from faith. Faith is you have to put a pot on the stove, turn heat under it, fill it with water, and you have faith that it will boil. Why? Because of previous experience or because of science. It tells the facts. But you can believe that pot is going to jump up and turn to gold. That's a belief. That's a difference. We need to get a proper understanding and usage of the language. It's the language we're stuck with, so we should understand it, use it correctly, so we can communicate properly with each other. So let's move forward. We're going to discuss a few things. There's quite a few things. Well, we're going to hit the main topics. So let's just move forward and see what happens. Normally, this will be open forum. But yesterday, I got kind of like diverted, and so this is Saturday, and so it's early Saturday morning. So I'm doing this just straight presentations, not open forum, is not live. So let's move on, brothers and sisters. Now, to put the world in perspective, in general, we have a war raging, and the advantage of one side is to have the other side not realize they're at war. Because by the time they realize, it's too late. Like they call it surprise attack. So if you can successfully keep your people from realizing, your enemy realizes you're at war with them, then you could have them defeated before they even realized they were at war. That's the state Black America's in. We were attacked nearly 600 years ago. A race war was initiated 500, I said 6, I misspoke. 500 years ago, a race war was initiated by the Europeans. A race war. They won't tell you that. It's a race war because they went to war with every race. They went to war with everyone on the planet. There's only 2 races on the planet. Well, actually, there's a hidden third one. But for all practical purposes, there's 2 races. That's why I call it a race. Because prior to 6,000 years ago, there was only one people, one original people. They were divided into 3 tribes, but everybody was original. See, there was no such thing as race. The concept of race didn't come until Dr. Yakub brought in a new people that was on the fringe of our species, the idea of species, because species represent, like, you have different species, like, birds is a species, um, fish are species, right? Um, um, Cats are species. Those are species. See? So you have the human species. But on the fringe of that, that was barely within that circle, was Yaku's creation. But you know a species because they can reproduce between each other. That's how you know, because you cannot mate with an animal and produce anything. But there will be a talking beast that will be barely right within, just enough within the range where they can reproduce. So that's why they're part of our species, and they're called mankind. So the idea of race, that's why they call it race. Because when that happened, you have two different visions, two distinct visions, that beast vision and human vision. This, the beast vision and the human vision. And so they were at war with each other, race. And the beast had only 6,000 years to win that race. They had 6,000 years to win that race, or they would be terminated. See, this is scripture. But as I try to explain to you, this Quran is, and the Bible are mathematical books. But you don't understand that way because the way it's written in prose. Prose means, like, you know, you say mathematically, every action has an opposite but equal reaction. That's mathematics. Every action has opposite but equal reaction. But in scripture, the way you say it is you reap what you sow. It's exactly the same thing. But one is prose and one is math. And so the scripture is written in prose, so you see concepts that you see there, right? There's concepts which you don't recognize as math. Like the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. That's a mathematical story. It teaches you about weather and how we interact with weather. That's what that story is about. The whole story is about weather and how we interact with weather, how we affect the weather, how the weather can, how the weather is a consequence of our actions. And pressure and structural weakness. I have an old recitation talk. That's what the whole story is about. It explains that whole concept. But it's written in a way that you don't see the math in it. See? As I said before, when I begin to look in Injil called Revelations, what gave me the leverage to get and break the seals, because I saw the mathematics in it. People don't see the mathematics in it. It's a mathematical book. It starts off with 22 divided by 7, which is pi, which is circle completion. 22 chapters divided by 7 seals. It's a mathematical book. And one day you'll understand it as a mathematical book, because you go in that book, you're going to learn supreme mathematics. Like I said, the story of Sodom and Gomorrah is powerful mathematics, powerful mathematics. I did a presentation on it called Weather. I could have got a lot more detail. I pretty much, just gave you the bottom line. So we're going to take a look at some of the world events and try to, look at them from a critical analytical perspective, hoping that you understand. Critical analytics. That means you analyze it critically. Okay, let's move on, brothers and sisters. So let's look at this first, right? Now, the scriptures, I mean, you have to you have to be in great distortion mode to not see the truth of it. But see, they 24/7 trying to make sure you don't see because they're trying to destroy your vision. A people without vision perish. A nation is a people who share the same vision. See, that's one definition of a nation. Or a tribe is the same thing. People that share the same vision. See? So we have two races and they have two different visions. That's why we had sealed Bible that was given to the Adam race. But the unsealed Bible will be given to the original people at the end. See? Before we got to the finish line, let's look at this. So Jesus said to them again, truly, truly, I say to you, I am the door of the sheep. All who came before me are thieves and robbers. Now analyze that right there. Now we know John came before Jesus, so he's calling him a thief and a liar. We know all the prophets came before him, was calling him a thief and liars. No, of course not. He's talking about somebody just immediately preceded him. And we know Jesus means Joshua. See, we have to analyze these things. Jesus means Joshua. So who preceded Joshua? Aaron did. He couldn't be talking about all the prophets and prophets before him because they was from God. So he had to talk about somebody that preceded him, the same one in the message of the covenant in Malachi. Because he had to come and clean up something. So he couldn't be, because he said he would come to Elijah's temple. So he wouldn't be Elijah, he's come to his own temple. He's come, so, but he had to clean up something. So who came between him and Elijah? Because you saying clean Elijah's mess? See, critical analyst, is he clean? You saying he clean Elijah's mess? No, because Elijah is the messenger. So he could be cleaning his mess because he's nothing wrong with Elijah. It had to be somebody between him and Elijah. That's Aaron again. Farrakhan. See, I call him Kil-A-Vision. That's his purpose, to kill our vision. That's exactly what he's done. If you understand that, if you take and work all week, and then they say you're not get paid, right? What does that mean? That means you're not getting a reward. That means your work was worthless. You must maybe you was in prison or something. Maybe you didn't deserve to get paid or whatever. So if you take the payment out, then you devalue the work. So when he's telling us we're not going anywhere, we're not going to promised land, he's taking and abrogating, right? He's canceling, right? He's devaluating the Abrahamic covenant. He's calling God a liar, right? Because God says we are going, right? Or he's saying that we're not the true seed of Abraham. Either way, he's taking and ripping that idea, that vision away from us. So either saying we're not true seed of Abraham, that means we have no vision. If we're not true seed of Abraham, what vision do we have? Mr. Kil-A-Vision, Mr. Farrakhan, what vision do we have if we're not the true seed of Abraham? And if we are true seed of Abraham, then why are we not going to get the reward for our suffering? But he says we don't deserve a reward because we came here to be punished. Who gets a reward for being punished? You analyze what that lion dog says, and it's very clear. But see, the people with him are either demons or stupid because they have to be ignorant because they're more ignorant than him because they listen to that and they go along with it because they're incapable of analytical, of critical analytics. They're incapable of thinking mathematically because that's taken away from them with religion. That's the whole purpose of religion, to get you away from mathematics. Thinking mathematics. That process started 35,000 years ago as Master Muhammad told us with the first religion, Buddhism. Understand that. So you're incapable of thinking logically, mathematically, or you would not listen to that because you say it comes down to one thing. The logic of it is, are we the seed of Abraham? Are we not seed of Abraham? If we are, then he's telling you that you're not going to get your reward for your suffering. If we are, if he claims we are, but he says that we're not going to get the reward and that God's a liar, that covenant is not going to be fulfilled because that's the reward of it, of the covenant. That's the reward for your suffering. It's not going to be fulfilled. That means it's meaningless. Your suffering is meaningless. So if he admits that we are true seed of Abraham, then he's saying that God lied and we're not going to, the covenant not going to be fulfilled, or he's saying that we did not fulfill our part of the bargain. So to that, he says, well, we're sinful. You see? So we're not going to get our reward. So God has abandoned us. Or he's coming and telling you that we're not the true seed of Abraham. If that's the case, right, he's still saying we're sinful. That means he's speaking to Massa. Because he's saying that we're sinful, that we was brought over here because we've been punished. That's what he said. We're going. So we're not true seed. So he's speaking out both sides of his mouth. Because one time he said we're true seed of Abraham. The next time he says, no, we brought over here because we're being punished. So that means that nothing that was done to us was, everything that was done to us was justified because we was being punished. If somebody goes out and commit a crime and they're in prison, that's justice, right? So you can't get mad at the warden and the guards because they deserve to be there because that's justice. So we deserve everything we got. So that means the guard and the warden, America, right? They're clean people. They're just doing their job. They imprisoned us because we was sinful people. We was dragged and thrown to prison. So that means they're good people. That's why I say we're good people. See, because that's what they think, but they can't come out and tell you that. See, because wokeness and everything, they come and tell you that you are just sinful. Because remember, they all probably Christians, right? And so how do they see the Bible? They see the Bible as we being the cursed seed of Shem, which is his son Ham, right? Which is supposed to be black Africa, right? That we were sinful and cursed black. We became black because we was cursed black because the Adam and Eve, the original, according to him, was Caucasian. So how did we get black? We was cursed black because we were sinful, right? And so we was dragged up here. We was cursed to be black and a slave forever to them. So therefore, they were feeling. So God's not angry with them. They're just feeling God's will. See? And they take a step further because they say that the covenant, right, is not even the people that claim, the other people that claim, because they said, because they crucified Jesus, it was taken away from them, and now they're spiritual. So that means the old world belongs to them. So when they came over here and took this country, they were supposed to, because people here was fighting against them because they was fighting against God's will. So they were savages, no good devils. So they deserve what they got too. So that means America, everything's holy. They're pure, perfect, pure. And that's what they're selling to the people. And that's why people believe that. Oh man, we're good people. We're doing God's will. You understand? We're good people. And they believe that. And they have to have people keep believing that. And Farrakhan's feeding into that because he's telling you one thing, but you pay attention to what he's saying, you do some critical analytics of what he's saying, and he's telling you he's pushing their program to make them feel. See, but you say, well, yeah, but he's against them satanic Jews. Well, who the hell are satanic Jews? Everybody's against satanic Jews. Even the Jews are against satanic Jews. See? And you buy that. See, you go off on that. Oh, man, yeah. He's talking the street. Well, see, but he ain't calling devils. And he wants to bring them to NOI. So that means that's race mixing right there. Elijah Muhammad condemned it. Right? So if you bring them in, they're your brothers and sisters, aren't they? That means you can mate with them, have children with them. He says, well, to bring them, we have the tapes. He was very clear about it. that he wants to bring them into NOI. And he's already succeeded in bringing some in. Some may come under cover of being Mexicans. See? So he's already bringing some in. So here, right? So it says also, or before me, that means the one immediately preceding him, that's Farrakhan. See? Kil-A-Vision. That's what his whole purpose is to kill our vision. And that's what he's successfully doing. Because he's telling you, if our vision is Abrahamic, if we don't have the Abrahamic covenant as our vision, we don't have a vision. Because the only vision you have is the vision that Master gave you, that you obey him, and then when you die, you go back and serve him in the sky, because the picture on the wall is also a Cajun person. So you're going to serve him here, serve him there. That's the only vision you have if you don't have Abraham, if you don't have the Abrahamic covenant. That's why you're perishing, because it said the people that without a vision perish. So if you don't have Abrahamic covenant as your vision, you don't have a vision. You don't have one. Tell me where it is. Where's your vision of the future? The Democratic Party, that one day you might be free and equal in America. Is that your vision? Because you don't have one. You don't have a vision as a people. So that means you're perishing. So if Abrahamic covenant is not your vision, then you don't have a vision. And Farrakhan says that's not your vision. Because to be a vision, right, that's something that you're going to achieve, something you're trying to achieve. And so we already went through the sacrifice. That Abrahamic vision, right, that's why I said the message of the covenant is fulfillment of that covenant. That's the vision. You have a vision. You want to go, you have a vision of going to New York. You have to have a vision first. That's the result. See, the culmination of it. Not the vision of going there, the vision of getting there. That's what the vision is, the getting there. See? You have a vision of your goal, and now you got to try to achieve it. So our goal is the promised land. That's the vision. He's saying you're not going. He's destroying that vision. He's destroyed it. You don't have a vision. You understand? That's why it's called Kil-A-Vision. That's his point, to kill that vision. And he's done that. You're not going anywhere. That's the promised land is your vision. So he's taking that from you. So you don't have it. So you're not going. So what you going to do? You're going to stay in America? What you going to do? You have any idea? If you talk to all these blacks, I bet you get a different answer from every one of them. Because they don't have a common vision. That means not even a nation. Remember I said nation, people have a common vision. Somebody have a common vision. See? So let's go a little further. See? So all become thieves and robbers. But the sheep do not listen to them. See, they're not listening to them. Who's listening to them? The Levites, right? They're listening to them. He's the ones those with Elijah, right? The Levites. That's was Elijah's supposed to raise. Read the scripture. There's only two people that raised anybody in scripture. That was Jesus or Joshua. He raised Lazarus, and Elijah raised the Levites. Elijah was a Levite. See? And with the Levites, the saints, that he went and deceived. So make war with the saints, overcome them for 40-some years, 42 years. See? But there's the elect out there he can't get to. I told you they're hidden. The scripture, they're hidden. See? They won't listen to him. See? It's like some of you are not listening to him either. Even before you heard about AL-INJIL, you didn't want to listen to him. See? Because you scoped him right away. You didn't know what to do, but you knew you know what to do, but you knew you didn't want to listen to him. See? If anyone enters through me, everyone enters through me. Remember it says, Joshua is the one that takes you. You have to go through Joshua. He's the one that got the land book. He's the one the land. He's the one that got the book of life. Only way you had the book of life, you had to break the seals. If they haven't broke the seals, they don't have the book of life. And you have to be in that book of life for God will deliver you. That's what it says. It says Michael, who is fraud, unless there's more than one deliverer, he's the one that delivers, but he only delivers those in the book. the Lamb's book. See, and it says they will go in out and find the pasture. Now, he will be saved and will go in and out and find the pasture. Go out of here and find the pasture. See, because if you got to find it, that means it ain't here. The promised land. But Farrakhan said, we ain't going nowhere. So that means he's destroying your vision. He says you had no reward. Why you don't have reward? Because you're sinful. Nobody gets rewarded for being sinful. The thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. Now, remember I said make mystery shed blood? See, this is easy. But how come the Sunnis are so discombobulated about it? How come they can't see it so easy? It says, they was made to make mystery shed blood. Who has a history, the 500-year history of making mystery and shed blood? Who come to steal, stole this land, kill the people, destroy our nation, destroy every nation they came to. They brought disease, suffering, and death, and tyranny. Isn't that how they came? It wasn't like that before they came. You didn't have nations fighting against each other. Where's the evidence of nations fighting against each other, right? Before 500 years ago, before they came. Did you have the Hawaiians going to fight Chinese? Show me evidence. They didn't find it. They brought it. Disease, hell, damnation, suffering, poverty. Where did they find poverty at? They brought it with them. So like I said, this scripture is easy to understand because only one nation guilty of that. But they say, well, that's Satan. Okay, but you're doing the works of Satan. So if you say some visible being that's separated, well, still in all, you're still doing his works. You're doing the same thing they said. You come to steal, kill, and destroy. When you came to put a foot on stone in America, how did you come here? You came to steal their land, to kill their people. That's what you did. Destroy everything that they had. That's what you came here to do. That's exactly what you did. What other nation that did that other than the Europeans? Tell me other people did that. Tell me what other people did. Give me an example. So if you're not Satan, you're still doing the works of Satan. So Jesus said, then your father's the devil. Says your works you will do. It says, that's your nature. That's what Jesus said you believe in, so you call him a liar? So you look at this carefully, right? Look at this carefully. See right there, that wolf? Did you notice him? See that wolf right there amongst the sheep? Disguised, disguised as a sheep, but he's a wolf. That's a demon. That's simple mathematics. But they hide that from you too. Because you got black folks, you think because somebody's skin tone is yours, what some people say, skin folk ain't kinfolk. What do you think they're telling you? Yeah, they got the same skin as you, but they ain't your folks. They master's children. The man carries the seed. You are what your father is, period. That's basic science. That's basic biology, basic genetics. You are what your father is. It's the seed. Nothing in the egg can change that seed. It can use material from the egg and make itself better or maybe worse, but it takes the material from that and use that. Just like you put a seed in the ground, it takes the nutrients and everything, but it's nothing in that ground is going to change the orange seed to an apple seed. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Those are demons. It says, beware them. It says, the angel tells us, half of the black people in America are demons. Their masters' children through 400 plus years of rape. They're not us. Like I said, they may be skin folk, but they ain't kinfolk. They're demons. That's why it says, half devil, half man. That's what demon mean. They're not us. They may look like us, but they're wolves in sheep clothing. You told me beware them. See, the lessons tell you, 17 million. Was it a coincidence? Right? Because there were not 17 million black folks, right? Not original black folks. There was not 17 million. I mean, if you take all the black folks, there wasn't 17 million black folks back then when Master Mama showed up. There wasn't 17 million back then. When they went near it, right? But half of them wasn't even original. So that puts you down. Even if you took 17, it took take you down around about 8 million. So it's a coincidence now. There's probably 34 million and 17 million original or 17 million demons. See, that's what that list is trying to tell you. Because it wasn't talking about back there. Okay, let's look at this briefly. This is sickening. Let's look at it.
Hi, I'm Jimmy J.J. Walker. If you're on Medicare, listen to this. I call the Warden Credit number to see what extra Medicare benefits I can get. An actual person answered, looked at my zip code, and boom, I was offered extra benefits like dental coverage, including dentist, extractions, fillings, plus prescriptions, transportation, meal, and so much more, all at no additional cost. And then I asked about the benefit that adds money to my Social Security check. And get this, I'm entitled to an extra $100 a month. That's $1,200 a year added to my Social Security check. And I was like, dynamite! Call the 1-800 number on the screen and see what you may be entitled to. Call now. It's free.
What? Sad. Sad. You mean that clown's still around? It's demon back then, it's demon now. It's always gonna be a demon. Making black people look like fools, dummies, clowns. Dynamite. I ain't know any black people act like that. And the original black people anyway. See? They dug him up. See? They always dig up people like that. He's a demon. See? Because that's their view of you. And that's the view they give the whole world. So he's a spokesman for black people. He's a role model, an icon. I mean, that's what they think. They paid him a lot of money to get up there and represent, to speak to black people, because they think that's what black people really. They think that's he. They think he has he has a connection to black people. That's why they make an ad. They say they will listen to him because he tries to sell something. You don't put somebody right that's got bad breath and 4 eyes and everything out there try to sell a product for you. You send somebody that you think people are gonna listen to. That's the problem with these demons. Dynamite. You're gonna get some dynamite, all right. Okay, we're gonna talk a little bit about, let's just play this first.
But in an interview, she then doubled down on her criticism of the national anthem. I do respect the Constitution because obviously I was exercising my constitutional right, but I will not stand for any type of symbol or song that does not stand for all people in America. The songs, the lyrics, the symbols, it just doesn't. We know our history. We need to be talking about the racial and social injustice issues that still face, that Black communities still face to this day. It's the same thing. And people are trying to divert the attention to a song and a flag when that's not even the biggest thing that we need to be focusing on right now. But instead, we're all talking about Kim Berry because
Listen to
she's
this
just all
demon.
focused on herself. And tell me, she's come up with a new Olympic sport. It's called the back and flag.
Yeah, you so stupid. Yeah, you really stupid.
Flip flop on one thing, and then I'll come here with this. I like the flag. I don't like the flag. Do you think she can medal in that? Hey, if anyone can, she can. But I think that Colin Kaepernick probably has one up on her. But you know, I will say this: when I look at Gwen Berry and I see her doing all of these interviews, I think to myself, "Tell me you want a Nike deal without telling me you want a Nike deal." That's what it screams to me.
That's for long.
Colin Kaepernick did set this pattern for so many athletes and so many quote-unquote activists in the pop culture and celebrity entertainment community. He showed that a disdain for America, disdain for that flag and that song, as she calls it, so disrespectfully, is profitable. So
disrespectfully, why in the hell should we respect that damn flag? Give me one reason why we should respect that flag. Your demon children should respect it, maybe, but why would we, original people, raped, murdered, our nations destroyed, our people destroyed, our language taken away, our mind taken away, our freedom taken away, everything? This went on for 400 years in this country, 464 years, right? 200 some years as America, right? Tell me one reason why we should respect that damn flag. See? Because you can't. You're on your line with your BS because you think you're angelic. You think you're the ones because you believe this false idea, right? That you are the spiritual seed of Abraham. That means we're slaves and we should be glad. We should be glad. See, that's why you think we should respect it. Because you should be glad that we're being nice to you. That you're being nice to us. We should be glad that you're being nice to us. Why? Because we're supposed to be slaves. But God condemned us to be slaves and black. But you were so nice. You was nice in God. So you freed us, and you and I treating us as slaves as much, and you trying to be treating us, treating us real nice, like, like you got a puppy, you treat him real nice. So we should be glad about that. So we should respect you for doing that. That's what your idea. You won't say it, but that's what it is. Because you think you say this from Africa, because I've heard you say it. You say it from Africa, we were wild beasts and was beating our lions, so you say it. So we should be grateful. And we were savages. So you civilized us. We should be grateful. See? You say it's for a terrible life in Africa. We should be grateful. And now you civilized us and trained us and taught us English and taught us Christianity. And you civilized us. You raised us up from savages. We should be grateful. That's why we should respect the flag. That's what it's all about. Critical analytics. Nothing you got to understand. Read between the lines. They can't say it, but why would they say it? Because they know the history. But their idea of history is totally different from yours, but they can't tell you. Because they think they saved us. I've had Caucasians tell me that. Oh man, well, y'all should be glad, man, because y'all was running around Africa, man, and you running bones, you don't know. I mean, I had them tell me that. And we would save y'all. I've had them tell me that, and they believe it. They can't say it now because they're over there so woke and everything. Now. They can't come and tell you that's what they believe. See, so they're being kind to us. So we should respect them for that. Because look all the great things they did for us. Man, look, y'all speak English. Y'all Christians, right? Y'all wear clothes, right? Y'all in the greatest country on our planet, right? See, we made y'all citizens. See? And after we civilized you, right? Then we freed you. We let you go out and, and live amongst us. We should be grateful. So anybody's not grateful, something wrong with them because look at all the good things we've done for y'all. That's what the story is. That's what story is, brothers and sisters.
Monetize his anti-Americanness, and others are attempting to follow his footsteps because it was very lucrative. And also similar to Colin Kaepernick, as we saw, she may have used to love the United States. Colin Kaepernick never really felt so vocally oppressed until he started sitting the bench. So once again, attention-seeking display, all about the money and all about the relevance for this third-place hammer throw finisher. Well, I'm glad to see Kerry gets the same.
If she was protesting Donald Trump, right? Oh man, that's great. Well, these wouldn't be saying it, but other people, right? If she was protesting China, oh well, he's protesting, what they like. Oh, that'd be great, right? If she was saying, I protest because they shouldn't be, they shouldn't be defunding the police. Right? Oh, yeah, man. She's great American. But she protests the truth about them. Oh, man.
I'm concentrating on her sport. She's going to need it. Oh, she's going to need it for sure. Go ahead, Joey. Sorry.
You're not the first one to do that. I get names wrong all the time. But,
Joey, Kaylee, they sound like
yeah. At the end of the day, it's not about her anymore. I wish her the best. I really do. Am I offended by it? Of course I am. It bothers me publicity, maybe the deal she's looking for, maybe just a controversy that she's looking for. I'm over that part of it. But what I am not over is the juxtaposition you just showed as we started this segment, which was just a handful of years ago, she did not feel this way. And what happened in the meantime? Well, what happened in the
She got educated, dumbass. She figured it out. You keep talking about, well, you changed. You're not a racist anymore, so what happened to you?
meantime, is an entire political machine on the left saw an opportunity to further divide us by using this narrative, by advancing things that say
Further divide us? Are you serious? This country's been divided since you brought us over here. You the divider.
it's us against them, it's you against the world. That the
Now it's
system
us
is designed
causing
to hate
division.
you, that a song 200 years old that absolutely has had different meanings over the generations. It's something that you should attack rather than where we are today and what the song can mean for us today. But what I will tell you is that flag represents a lot. It represents about 2 dozen buddies of mine.
Wait a minute. Let's look at this. Oh, so the meaning of the song, the anthem, right? It has different meanings as time goes by. So in other words, if they call you nigga and everything back then, right? See, well, that's the way they talked then. See, so but now we translate the word because they won't use that word back then. They use a different word now. It's like they used to call mentally challenged children retarded. So if you had a book right there, would say it referred to as retarded. So now you update the book right now and you rewrite the book, a revision, and you call them mentally challenged. See, same book. So that's what we're trying to tell you. Okay, see, but the book back there, right? It was meant in a derogatory way, but so now, see, so now the time changed. But the point is, what would they meant when they said it back then? That's what he's trying to say. He's trying to clean it up. See, it meant something bad. It was bad back then, but it's nice now. But when people wrote it, what was their intention? So we still keep the song. See, in other words, they wrote to be derogatory towards mentally challenged children, right? That's the purpose of the book. See, so now you rewrite. You don't want to get rid of the book. You want to keep the book. So then you change from the retarded to mentally challenged, but the idea is still the same. So now you come in, but you're still against them. See, because that was the purpose of the book. So you can't clean up by just changing the names in the book. Like the whole idea about what Washington and Jefferson was a man of their times. So it's excused what they did back then because that was the times. I mean, if they was here now, they wouldn't be doing that kind of stuff because that was the times. So they was because that was a man of their times. So when the scripture says, okay, it's okay to rip, steal, and kill and everything else, right? And then, but in the wintertime, but it's not okay during the summertime. It's the way they construct their arguments, and they fool people. And most blacks buy it because they don't pay attention. Because most of them, they're paralyzed with fear. So whatever that master tells them, they listen to it. Because it was okay with. See, that's why Jefferson and Washington okay because there was rapists, there was pedophiles, there was oppression, there was living off the suffering of black men and women and children, and raping them. And you have to terrorize people to keep them in that kind of form of captivity. That means America's a terrorist nation. You think that they kept us in slavery and we were just happy to be there? Why did they put chains on you? If they put chains, that means you didn't want to be there. If you want to be there, we wouldn't need chains. That means they had to terrorize us to keep us under control. A terrorist nation. There was a terrorist nation. They're still a terrorist nation. But we're still in prison here, right? We're a nation still in prison here. But so they try to switch. Well, there was a man at that time. So during that time it was okay because it was okay to rape black people. It was already rape children. So there was a man at that time. So they was doing what everybody else was doing, so it was okay. See, if they was here now, they wouldn't be doing that stuff. They wouldn't be pedophiles because it's okay to not do that. So they wouldn't be doing that stuff. Really? That's the argument they're making. Are you buying it? So now you got ignorant people talking about, yeah, man, Colin Powell. Yeah, Jefferson was my favorite president because he's a demon. You got damn stupid Obama over. He admiring Lincoln. Lincoln didn't care about you. Lincoln didn't go to war to free slaves. You better read that again. See, so listen to these clowns. So you're going to how do you say it? Let me see how you say it again.
They died overseas.
Yeah, killing other people.
From generational poverty to generational wealth, and if anyone has that opportunity,
Oh boy.
nothing stops
Hold
you
on,
from
hold on,
excelling
hold
and
on.
becoming an
No, we gotta
from
get you
generational
back,
poverty.
here a little bit.
That's racial. Their system no good. Your system has to be the one. Your system the only one that's right.
You can overcome it. We live in a country where
Oh, this is this clown.
that someone could be oppressed, but that's something that you should attack rather than by advancing. Well, what happened in the
She got educated, dumbass.
Listen,
Figure it out.
this is fool.
You keep talking about, well, you changed. You're not a racist anymore. So what happened to you?
meantime, as an entire political machine on the left saw an opportunity to further divide us by using this narrative, by advancing things that say
Further divide us? Are you serious? This country's been divided since you brought us over here. You the divider.
it's us against them, it's you against the world. That the
Now it's
system
us
is
causing
designed to hate
division.
you. That a song 200 years old that absolutely has had different meanings over.
See, a song 20 years old had different meanings. Had different meanings.
I do respect the Constitution because obviously
Had different meanings.
yeah, well, sure. You're not the first one to do that. I get her anymore. I wish her the best. I really do. Am I offended by it? Of course I am. It bothers me to my core. But where are we going to get continuing to talk about her? We're going to get her more publicity, maybe the deal she's looking for, maybe just the controversy that she's looking for. I'm over that part of it. But what I am not over is the juxtaposition you just showed as we started this segment, which was just a handful of years ago. She did not feel this way. And what happened in the meantime? Well, what happened in the
She got educated, dumbass. She figured it out. You keep talking about, well, you changed. You're not a racist anymore. So what happened to you?
meantime, as an entire political machine on the left saw an opportunity to further divide us by using this narrative, by advancing things that say
Further divide us? Are you serious? This country's been divided since you brought us over here. You the divider.
it's us against them, it's you against the world. That the
Now it's
system
us
is designed
causing
to hate
division.
you. That a song 200 years
See, the song 20 years ago, see, had different meaning back then.
old that absolutely has had different meanings over the generations.
So now we forget. Why does it keep doing it? So we forget about what it meant before. Because it means something else now. It means something else now. See, didn't mean what it meant before. Home of the brave, land of the free. So it means something now because they're free now. So it's a good song now. See, because now they are free, right? And they are brave. See, but when it was written back then, right, what was brave about raping women and children and toddlers? Land of free. Well, all the way it could be land of free, right? That means we weren't human because you include the animals, right? So let's move on. This thing keeps going back.
Well, and I know it'll be a great reminder of what. Sit down with an African American colonel who served in. Sit down with an African American colonel who served. That you hope people watch for. Sit down with an African American colonel who served in Vietnam in 1960. What we all could do as Americans to commemorate this day too. Tell me just one thing that you hope people watch for.
What happened here? Happened here.
Sit down with an African.
What happened here? Yeah.
Great, right? As you're saying, I protest because they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be. They should be defunding the police.
right? Oh, yeah, man, she's great American. But she protests the truth about them. Oh,
You're not the first one to do that. I get the controversy that she's looking for. I'm over that part of it. But what I am not over is the juxtaposition you just showed as we started this segment, which was just a handful of years ago. She did not feel this way. And what happened in the meantime? Well, what happened in the
she got educated, dumbass. She figured it out. You keep talking about, well, you changed. You're not racist anymore. So what happened to you?
meantime, is an entire political machine on the left saw an opportunity to further divide us by using this narrative, by advancing things that say
further divide us. Are you serious? This country's been divided since you brought us over here. You the divider.
It's us against them, it's you against the world. That the
now it's
system
us
is
causing
designed to hate
division.
you, that a song 200 years old that absolutely has had different meanings over the generations.
It means the same thing.
It's something that you should attack rather than where we are today and what the song can mean for us today. But what I will tell you
Forget
is
about the past.
Flag represents a lot. It represents about 24 buddies of mine that died overseas.
Yeah, killing other people in other people's country. That's how you lost your legs, dumbass.
Not so that someone could be oppressed, but that someone could talk about it and that someone could show that.
Why are you over there oppressing people in their own country? Tell them how they should live. See, that's racial. That's race superiority, right? White superiority. Because you tell them their system no good. Your system has to be the one. Your system the only one that's right.
You can overcome it. We live in a country where the art of throwing inanimate objects as far as you can not only can earn you fame, but can earn you a scholarship to college that can take you from generational poverty to generational wealth. And if anyone has that opportunity, nothing stops you from excelling and becoming an Olympian in that way. And that's what that.
Well, you're trying to stop her.
Any conversation I could have with her, get her to understand
because she don't agree with you. Telling the truth on you.
I'm glad you're having it with us and all of our viewers. That was really beautiful, Joey.
Yeah, this is from a demon.
We saw Diana Price and we saw Brooke Anderson on the dais along with Gwen Berry, who was disrespecting them by turning her back on them as well. And finally, we're getting to see
disrespecting them. They're the disrespect. They're sick. That's why the demons are so dangerous. Because she's a pure demon. She's married to a white person, right? She's a pure demon. See? And so she thinks just like they think. So she's the one that's wrong, and they're the ones that's right. But who enslaved who? Who dragged who over here? Who raped who? Who stole this country?
Their American flag that they're carrying. I just can't focus on them enough. And look, we are an American team. That is a gold, a silver, and a bronze.
We.
The Olympic trials now, all of those women are going to represent us. And I wonder what it's like in the locker rooms. And I wonder what it's like on the sidelines and in the banquets and the places where they will gather. I'll be socially distanced, but they'll be together. You know, what are those conversations like between Gwen Berry and her fellow Americans? What does she say to them?
Her fellow Americans. She already told you she ain't a fellow American.
Yeah, she's getting all the attention, and that's what this is about. Tommy knocked it out of the park. You know, Chelsea Wolfe, maybe she looked over and saw Chelsea Wolfe. People were saying her name because she said she dreams of burning the American flag.
Oh, now she's jealous of the other ones.
Absurd Gwen Berry protest, and then she goes on Don Lemon's show. I didn't see the full interview, but she went on and talked about
the national
anthem not representing all. I assume Don Lemon followed up with the CNN fact check.
Well, John Lemon's a demon himself.
The national anthem and found that third verse, a Pulitzer Prize-winning historian, found that third verse wasn't racist. I'm sure he followed up with the CNN fact check.
And what was that third verse? The whole thing was racist. When they made the song, right? Where was we at? We was laying back on couches, right, in Florida, drinking pina coladas. Dumbass.
Real quick, just a reminder, guys, that Deanna Price, the first place winner there, she set a new American record at that time. That was the
whatever. The third verse, so we'll be clear. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that flag was still there, right? So, oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave over the land of the free? So she ain't forgot the third verse. I wasn't talking about us. The land of the free and home of the brave. That's the third verse. See? When this was written, right? Was we free? See? That's why she don't quote the third verse. Well, she got to remember the third verse. That's the third verse. She responded to that third verse. Land of the free. When it's written, we were not free. We're not free now. But we definitely wasn't changed when this verse was written. That's the third verse. See? Bull. And the home of the brave? Brave? These people are brave? Are you kidding me? There's no bravery here. These people are cowards. Always been cowards. What's so brave about raping women and children that never did anything to you? Toddlers. Calling them foot warmers. Freezing cold, so you put the baby on the floor, right, and you put your feet on to keep your feet warm, but he's freezing his ass off. That's what you was doing. Feeding him to our mother. Look around. You done raped her. You done raped a woman. She produced your child. See? And then you put the child, right, your own children back in the field because they wasn't white enough. But it's your child. Then you're feeding our children, right, to alligators, alligator bait. What's so brave about that? See, no, she was right on. She was right on. You know, she was right on. See, right on target. You the ones that hypocrites and liars, sick people. Anyway, let's move on. I don't even want to talk to these people anymore. I mean, I don't want to hear more of this garbage. Let's move on. Let's go on.
Well, and I know it'll be a great reminder of what we all can do as Americans to commemorate this day too. Tell me just one thing.
This is demon.
You know, sit down with an African American colonel who served in Vietnam in 1966.
African American colonel.
Just to hear his story and all he's seen and just how his face lights up and glows when he talks about this country, I think we can all learn to be a little bit more grateful for what this country provides for us.
Bubba head over there.
Fox Nation, Sunday night.
See, black current, a demon. That's the danger because they keep putting examples. They're not us. They're them, just black face. Okay, let's deal with. That's enough of that. Let's watch what China. See, they unpressed from all sides. See, they made China rich. China became powerful because they was trying to keep us from gaining any kind of power here. See, because they went to industrial revolution, that means they had demand for jobs. See, and that means now they had to pay you. They don't want to pay you. So they sent your jobs over to China. China was a basket case. But China got rich and powerful. Everything they do is backfired. Now they're angry at China. They made China. If all those jobs and everything had stayed here in America, how powerful would you have been right now? And without abortion, you'd have been the most popular people in America or near, and you'd been more financially more powerful because you've than them. And they wasn't going to have that. All that power that China has right now, you would have had if those jobs had stayed here. They got rich off those jobs. Your jobs sent it. That's why Detroit was like a mecca for black folks, for an economic mecca for jobs, right? Now it's a basket case. And so Elijah come along, right? See, he come along like, right? Like Hulk through toilet paper, right there. Wow, look at this man. Third grade man, woo. And they saw him come along, building a nation, and they shut all that down and said, oh, make sure you don't, they shut that down, make sure Farrakhan, Mr. Kil-A-Vision, make sure they locked the door, they locked that door, they closed that door and locked it. See, and then they send, and then they send you other jobs. See, you was being financially independent, you was building a nation, they closed that door and locked it. Then they made sure they closed the other door too the jobs and everything they had, sent them all to China. And China became powerful. Now China's threatening them. They did it to themselves. All in the effort to try to destroy us. They can't destroy us, brothers and sisters. They can't do it. It's impossible. They have to destroy the universe because we are the universe. The universe is us. We're the universe. We are the universe. We ain't part of the universe. We are the universe. The universe is an extension of us. I try to explain that when I was talking about weather to some extent. They are destroyed. They have to destroy the universe, destroy us.
We begin with the Chinese president's astonishing warning to his nation's foes, a violent threat of bloodshed coming as tensions between China and the United States ratchet higher all the time.
China's president putting it bluntly, if you mess with his country, there will be broken heads and bloodshed.
Sharp and graphic language, more like we've come to expect from small rogue nations like North Korea, but it takes on new meaning coming from the United States' top writer.
Former State Department spokesperson Morgan Ortagus is here.
This
She's
is full.
right away in, but we begin with State Department correspondent Rich Edson. He's live for us from the State Department as we kick things off this hour. Hey, Rich.
Hey, good afternoon, Sandra. And this is part of a more aggressive tone from China's government towards the West and especially the United States. The State Department refused to respond to those comments specifically, though says officials here were certainly watching President Xi Jinping's speech.
Of course, we're aware that the Chinese Communist Party commemorated its 100th anniversary today. We're aware of President Xi's remarks. We've taken note of them, but we're not going to comment on the specifics.
The State Department also says reports of China's nuclear arsenal growing more quickly and to a higher level than expected were concerning. In his speech marking the 100th anniversary of the Chinese Communist Party, President Xi also warned adversaries would face a great wall of steel. The rhetoric between the U.S. and China has intensified, especially over COVID-19, vaccine distribution, and China's refusal to allow a transparent investigation into the origins of the virus. The U.S. has also criticized China's crackdown in Hong Kong, trade practices, and repression of Uyghurs. Congress is working on legislation to counter China, though it's stuck in the House. Republicans claim the Democrats' bill needs stronger language on Taiwan and technology exports to China. The two sides are also fighting over climate change provisions in the bill, though last month the Senate did pass a bipartisan version of that bill to, as they put it, compete more aggressively with China. Back to you.
Okay, thank you for that, Rich. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
Former State Department spokeswoman Morgan Ortagus joins us now. Morgan, let's start off by listening to what it was that Xi Jinping said as they marked the 100th anniversary of the Communist Party.
We will never allow any foreign forces to bully, oppress, or enslave us. Anyone who dares to try to do that will have their heads bashed bloody against the Great Wall of Steel.
That sounds like fairly aggressive language there, as China seems to want to increase its momentum to become the world's dominant superpower. What do you think?
Well, we look at this from a strategic perspective. You have to say, what was Chairman Xi, what was he trying to get out of that 100-year speech that he gave? You know, if you look at the 80s and 90s, even in the early 2000s, China's strategy, the Communist Party strategy, was sort of to bide their time, to be quiet, to slowly rise, and to not make too many waves on the international stage. And what I see the chairman doing there is sort of saying, we are here now, we're a powerful nation, you're not going to bully us around. And so it was sort of their coming out party, I think, so to speak, on the international stage.
You know, there were thoughts that China might limit its ambitions to be sort of the dominant power in the region, but it does look like it's got global ambitions now, Morgan.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, what we dealt with at the beginning of the Trump administration is not just in the United States. We've talked about this before, John, but also in Europe, when the world just sort of accepted this premise that China's rise was inevitable, that they were going to be the major economic and military power in the world. And we somehow, President Obama's philosophy was we somehow needed to manage American decline during that process. That made no sense to us. Mike Pompeo and others on his senior team, we looked at that and said, no, we're just not accepting that. We don't believe that China is going to overtake us, and that we're in an inevitable decline.
You're in for a
That's
surprise.
really important because that mindset, that framing, now I think the Biden administration has actually taken a lot of that on. I'm critical of a lot of their foreign policy, but I think they're making strong moves against China. against the Chinese Communist Party. And it's important to remember that this is going to be the challenge of our generation, John. It's not going to be, the Communist Party won't be defeated from an ideological perspective by just one party. And so I think it's important for all of us in Washington to wake up and accept the new reality that President Trump saw before anyone else.
Xi Jinping talked about many other things during the speech, but a couple of notable ones. Hong Kong and the old Hong Kong democracy that we all knew for so many decades has all but disappeared. Then he also talked about reunification, Taiwan, saying that China would smash any attempt from Taiwan to become fully independent. Here's what your former boss, Mike Pompeo, said about it last night. Or maybe not.
They see American weakness and they begin to act out in this way. He is serious. He is confident. He is aggressive. He thinks America is declined. He's wrong about that.
No, he's right. He's absolutely right.
Prove him wrong.
So Pompeo seems to think that what Xi Jinping is saying is allowed by what's perceived as American weakness. What do you think?
I think that they were testing not only America, but the world and Hong Kong, right? They took away democracy, they took away freedom, they made commitments to not only the people of Hong Kong, but to every country in the world. And when they took that freedom and democracy away, the United States and the Trump administration, we stood up to them, we did sanctions, but really, it's not like any Western or European or even American companies left Hong Kong, right? We declared a genocide, and the CEO of Nike says that they're going to continue to produce in China. So they haven't been held accountable, I think, to the way that's going to require all of us, government, private sector, to stand up to them. But John, I think it's important, it's the 100-year anniversary of the Chinese Communist Party, and our viewers cannot forget that means over the last 100 years, you have seen over 45 million Chinese that died because of the quote-unquote great.
And what the hell have you been doing over the last 20 years? How many millions of black folks that you killed, raped, destroyed, right? See, you always point the finger at somebody else. Oh, well, you can't forget that but we supposed to forget what the hell you did to us. And how many Chinese you killed over the last, how many Chinese did you kill over the last 100 years when you went in there and drugged the people out, forcing drugs on them, do a Google on the Box Rebellion. They had to fight you in England. How many people did you kill all around the world? How many Indians did you destroy here in America? Oh, we can't forget what China did this. And what's your capitalism? You spread poverty all over the world. You impoverished everybody because you took everything they had. And then you say, well, they're in poverty because you impoverished them. You took everything they had. You made the Indians impoverished, right? Now they had no food. They killed their buffalo and everything else. You said, well, they're impoverished. They put them on reservations with nothing. Damn devils. Tell me what somebody else did. And you did 1,000 times worse. 1,000 times. Well, you can't. Man, they oppressed the weak. What you been doing to black folks for 40 years? What was you doing else for 40 years? Raping, murdering? And you got produce your demons? Sick ass people. Oh, there you go. He used profanity again. No, I'm not using profanity. I'm speaking the truth. When you put the word in proper context, not profanity. Profanity is when you put words out of proper context.
You've seen 100 years of forced abortions for the women in China. You've seen 100 years of torture, of execution, and a blatant disregard for human rights. So as much as Chairman Xi wants to talk about the great success of the Chinese Communist Party and to threaten Taiwan, to threaten Hong Kong, and to threaten...
Disregard for human rights. You said what even human for 40 years. You're sick. You're sick. Sick. Listen to these people. Critical analytics. Listen to her. Like America wasn't doing any of that stuff. You the one started it all. You the one the reason why there's a communist China. Because you went and destroyed their civilization they had. They wasn't bothering you. They had the Great Wall to keep your ass out. And you went in and destabilized them, forced drugs on them. Opium dens and cocaine dens. You did that. Drugged the whole country out. Destabilized it. That's how the Communist Party came, to bring the country back together. You did that. You listen to these people. You think that, man, they came over here, you understand, with angels, flying with wings. That's what you would think. And they came over here and picked up all the devils and just burned up all the devils. That's what they have you think. And then they went over here and grabbed the demons, us, and boys over here, right? And put us to work. But they're the angels flying around. That's what they have you think. That's where they think. Because listen, the only way she can say what she said, she have to think that way. Look, this blatant disregard for human rights. What the hell are you doing to us? 400 years.
Us, right, implicitly, we have to remember what the Chinese Communist Party stand for. They stand for 100 years of human rights atrocities against their own people.
Against their own people.
Oh. You stand for 400 years of worse.
Oh, so.
Margaret Ortegas, always great to see you.
Oh, so that's why he qualified. Because, see, we wasn't your own people. So he did it against the Negroes. See? So he's different because he did it against his own people. See how to qualify that? He did it against his own people. Well, what you care? It's in his family. But see, you didn't do it against your own people. You did other people. See? So you're even worse. Because if you're fighting within your family, that's one thing. But if you're going to take to other people's family, that's even worse. So you're even worse. Sick people.
Sandra Smith, welcome. The startling statistics coming out of major American cities are as Democrats are trying to twist the truth about their support and calls to defund the police and placing blame on Republicans. In Minneapolis, a judge ordering the city council and the mayor to, quote, immediately take any and all necessary action to put more police officers on the payroll.
This is New York City continues to grapple with the crime crisis. In Brooklyn, two dirt bikers seen here on surveillance video pummeling a postal worker who ended up with broken bones and cuts to his face. Those attackers still on the loose. Another disturbing video capturing an attack in Brooklyn as a man tackles a woman from behind in broad daylight, gropes her, and then takes off. Police still searching for that suspect.
Absolutely brutal. And in the city of Chicago, 2 children are fighting for their lives after 2 separate shootings there. The youngest victim, just 1 month old. A total of 4 people were shot dead and 28 others injured yesterday in that city as it braces for more violence heading into the holiday weekend.
Mike Tobin starts us off. He's live in Chicago with more on all of this. Mike, it's shaping up to be a difficult 4th of July weekend.
It certainly looks that way, and given the careless, sloppy nature of the gunfire in gangland, inevitably innocents get shot in the crossfire. In this case, a couple of little girls. A 1-month-old girl was shot in the head on the south side yesterday. She was in a car in the troubled neighborhood.
Well, I guess that's that on that one.
Sandra Smith, welcome. The startling statistics coming out of major American cities are as Democrats are trying to twist the truth.
What's that?
Americans prepare to head off and celebrate the 4th of July weekend. Some cities are dealing with a serious surge in crime. Chicago witnessing one of its bloodiest days this year, with 4 people killed and 28 others injured in shootings just yesterday alone. Nationwide police are already stretched thin while facing record retirements and shrinking budgets. Ted Williams is a former D.C. police detective, a defense attorney, and a Fox News contributor, and joins us now.
Demon alert, demon alert.
Over the weekend in a city, I know you know I love, Chicago. It is brutal. A 1-month-old baby was shot in the head in a mass shooting in Englewood. That was also the scene of another mass shooting just weeks ago. It killed 5 people, wounded 3 others. An 8-year-old girl was shot in the arm as she sat at her home in Roseland. A 9-year-old girl was shot in the head as she sat in her car.
And when we was out in the fields, was there crime then? Was crime raging in America then? We was out in the fields. Critical analytics. You talking about crime is new. You committed a crime against us for 400 years, 464 years. Killing us, murdering, raping us. Crime is not new to America. You just don't want to call it that. Oh, it's slavery. Look up slavery. Does slavery include rape, murder? Does it include any of those things? See, hanging. Does slavery include any of those things? So that wasn't slavery we went through. Went something much worse than slavery. Slavery is to force people, forced labor, force people, right, to give their labor for nothing. That's slavery. What we went through was way beyond slavery. So crime is not new to America. Crime has been in America from the day y'all put your foot on American soil. You've been criminals. You've been crime. So now you're decrying it. Why? Because, oh, well, all these crime in cities, and we got to get back to America when America was a moral. When was America ever a moral country? We got to go back to how when America had the morals, back to the Christian idea of America. When was that? When was that? When was America moral, good, peaceful, loving country? When? When if it was crime from the day y'all stepped here, you took to all these other countries, right? You crime against the people that you stole those countries, you committed genocide on these people, you had biological warfare on them, you brought us over here and all the things you did to us, right? For 400 some years. Constantly going on, 24/7, 365. This place has been crime from the very, but you don't consider yourself as criminals. That's the problem. Come on, crime, crime, crime. So this whole America is a crime. America is a metaphor of crime. The greatest crime in history committed here in America. The whole idea of America is a crime. Critical analytics. See? There's like little incidents. Look, this is the whole idea of America is a crime. When you put your foot on the soil, it was crime from that point up to now. The worst crimes in human history. America itself is crime. It's the metaphor of a crime. The greatest crime in history. Talking about Hitler. I care about damn Hitler. Hitler was a novice compared to you. When they asked him where to get his ideas from, you know what he said? From y'all. That's what he said.
Grand Crossing. What is happening? How can we get these cities to ramp up their police departments rather than see these calls to defund the police?
The whole purpose of police was to keep us under control.
Sandra, let's just be candid here. Crime is out of control, and the criminals are winning in these very...
You see this demon? Crime's out of control. What the hell you think it's been for the last 464 years, fool? You're out of control. It's a wild beast. That's why it says in chapter 19, and the wild beast was caught, and with him the false prophet, false Israel. Because a wild beast, crime is out of control. It's been out of control from the minute you step foot in this country. Well, crime's out of control. That's what the police was for, the purpose to keep us under. That's the whole reason. You never had a police force before that. There was no case, nation never had a police force. The whole purpose of the police force was to keep us under control.
Major metropolitan cities. The sad commentary is just what you just said. The young people who we love and embrace are dying as a result of violent criminal activities in these various cities. The only way that you're going to get...
And what was they dying of when they was in the fields? What was young people that you love and care for? Would you love them when they was in the fields? What was they dying from then? Being hung, butt broken, raped, beat, tortured, starved. What was they dying from then for 400 years? Critical analytics. They don't want this. See? They don't want this. This is just truth. They don't want this. That's why they don't want this kind of thinking.
The crime under control is to unhandcuff law enforcement.
Yeah, be more oppressive. Put them back on the plantation. We're on the plantation anyway. Put them back in the fields in chains. That's what prisons are.
Have been paralyzed, and you've got
Big prisons are.
crazy movement around the country about defunded police departments, which is ridiculous in an age of crime. The criminals are on the sideline, Sandra, and
The age of crime, the criminals on the sideline. You're the criminals. And they want to defund the slave catchers. No, man, you got to get more slave catchers. Because these Negroes going out of control. You got to put them back on the plantation, back in chains. That's what he's saying. Massa, you wake up. They running off the plantation. They're out of control. You got to get more. You can't get rid of slave catchers. You got to get more of them. Put them back in chains, Massa. Yeah, I know I'm your black child, but I'm still your child. I'm looking out for you. Put them back in chains. They're out of control. Next thing you know, they're going to be taking over the house. And they're going to get rid of both of us. That's what he's saying. Why these demons are such a threat?
they're smiling, they're laughing at us because we're idiots. Because we're talking about defunded police. If you want to reform police, fine. But defunded is just should be taken off the table, and it isn't.
It really is incredible. These press conferences that the police superintendent David Brown was giving in Chicago over the weekend after this huge number of shootings, he was asked the same question over and over from reporters, from families, relatives who are affected by this. Why can't authorities do more to protect children? Put it up on the screen. These are the nationwide police staffing statistics. As we continue to report, morale is down. Record lows in some of these police departments. Hiring is down 5%, Ted. Resignations are up 18%. And look at the number of retirements. It's surging up 45%. They see that the way that they're being treated, and they're just leaving, Ted.
Well, you just said it, the way they're being treated. Look, there was a time in this country where we revered police officers, we called them officer friendly, and we thought and believed that they were our friends. You had a...
When was that? I don't remember that time. The demons thought that way. White folks thought that way. But there was no time that real black folks, rich people, because they ended up in prison. And the people in prison sure don't think that way. And they got over 1 million of our brothers and sisters in prison right now. He's full of it. See, I'm trying to see. Well, you know, he customer, so I'm trying to be nice. See, I'm trying. So I gotta say example. So I'm not gonna say sh. That's what he's full of, though. You're out of control. You okay? We don't see. We're not like you. See, we use the language appropriately. You don't have a problem with it. See, we're not out of control just using, this is their language, not ours. See, so if someone, you want me to say, well, he's full of manure. No, he's full of shit. That's appropriate. That's not profanity, because that's what it is. I'm saying the way it is. He says that word. See?
Few rotten apples out here.
Few rotten apples.
For that reason and that reason alone, it appears as though police officers are being disrespected all over this country. And as a result of that, they're saying, we're not going to put up with this.
That's enough of that. Move on.
Americans prepare to head off in some...
Okay, let's move on, and then we're going to close out, brothers and sisters. Those are tops of the day. I dealt with them, right? Try to use a little critical analytics. It just comes up the same way. They're full of it. They're a bunch of lies, hypocrites. See? It's easy to see that. Again, we're going to talk about a couple things here, but the angel represents that's fulfillment, completion. It's completion, right? Because the end result of the angel is this whole 50,000 years process is finished, completed. This brings the angel brings it to completion because it gets us back home. That's the book that gets us back home, not the Quran. Quran doesn't even talk about it directly. That's the book that gets back home. Completion. Full circle. 50,000 year circle, full circle, come to a close. That's why it's 22 chapters divided by 7 seals. It's a mathematical book. I wish I could really get into it, the real mathematics with you, because some you're not ready yet. So I give you a little hints there. But it's completion. It's the book that brings the 50,000 year cycle to an end, to a close. Everything that was taken from us 50,000 years ago is returned. The angel brings us there. Everything that was taken from us returned. Full completion. It's the end, because that began the end of the beginning of the deprivation to the end of deprivation. End of deprivation. 50,000 year period now comes to an end. The angel is the completion. That's why it's 22 chapters divided by 7 seals. Pi, completion, circle. That's the book that brings close out. Final book. Final book. It tells you right in the last chapter right there, it describes, right, the paradise and everything. See? The New Jerusalem, it gives everything you need to know. Everything. Explains everything. Much more than you even know now, because once you study, you find there's a lot more I haven't told you. It's right there. But you have to study, brothers and sisters. The Quran is useful. But like anybody would tell you, anybody that deals with tools, you have to write the right tool for the right situation. You have to have appropriate tools for the right situation. And they don't know how to use the Quran. The Quran has a purpose. You have to know how to use it properly. You have to know how to use the angel properly. Otherwise, right, if you're using pliers for something that should be a screwdriver, you're going to be all messed up. You're not going to get the job done. Pliers have a certain use, and screwdrivers have a certain use. See, Quran has certain use. Primarily, that's why I call it a recital. See, but the angel is the one that gets us back home. It's the final revelation gets back home. There'll be other revelations, but this one completes that 50,000 year cycle. The angel. That's why it was locked down and sealed. So to be revealed at the very end. So it wouldn't be corrupted, anything, because that's the light that closes, that wraps everything up. Kil-A-Vision. See? That's Mr. Farrakhan. That's his job, to kill our vision. That's his job, to kill our vision. Because if he tells you you're not going anywhere, that's killing the vision. That means you have no vision. Because if you're not going anywhere, then what's your vision? If you're not going anywhere, then Abrahamic covenant doesn't mean anything. Because that's your reward. If you don't get paid, on payday, then your work was in vain. It's meaningless. Because the whole reason why you did it, so you get paid. But if they say you're not going to get paid, then that was wasted. So he said we're not going to get paid. He said we're not going to get paid. If we're not going anywhere, it means we're not going to get paid. Because the pay, right, is the promised land. That's the reward. He said you're not going to get it. Kil-A-Vision. That's his job. And if you analyze what he says, critical analyst, you'll see it clearly. That's his job. And that's what he's doing, effectively doing it. See? But we setting up mesh of the covenants all over the place, right? To shed light in this darkness he created. See, when you take people's vision away, you put them in darkness, because that's the vision is their light. The vision is their light. You take that light away, you put them in dark. Like you take the person's eyesight away, they can't see, it blind. So if you take people's vision away, you put them in darkness. See, so what we're doing is we're setting up beacons all over America, right? See, to break through that darkness, to reinstate that vision, to restore your light. And then you got the Sunnis, golden calf. They're there to try to steal your vision too, diminish it, to destroy it. See, come into my web, said the spies and the fly. coming to Sunnism. In Sunnism, there's no Abrahamic covenant. See, because they are occupying, in other words, they have possession of our reward. They have possession of our reward. So in other words, the foreman's taking your check, right? He has possession of it. See, so he's telling you, oh, why don't you go over there and work someplace else? Because he don't want to give you the check. He don't want you to look for that check. Well, he want to give you all kinds of diversion. Work another week, maybe, we don't have the money right now, or whatever, anything. Because he don't want to give you that check. Because it's coming from him. He's got the check. You say the foreman or the whatever, the employer. See, they don't want to pay you. Because they have to take out their pocket. That means for us to get paid, they have to give that land. So they're going to find all kinds of ways for you not to have to pay you. That's what Sunnism all about. Coming to our web. You come in Sunnism, all of a sudden you forget about the Abrahamic covenant. Because they don't talk about it over there. And you sure are not the true seed of Abraham, because that's what Sunnism is about. Because they're saying they're the true seed of Abraham. And they fall into false Israels, right? They're backing them up. And the reason they're backing that up, right, even though they're enemies over there, because that's to underscore the fact that you can't be, because they're Ishmael, they said Ishmael, they're saying false Israel Isaac. That's what they're saying. And they fighting each other. That's what they're saying. That's a trick. Because they acknowledge that false Israel is Isaac. And we're Isaac. So if they confirm that's what Sunnism does. So if you go into Sunnism, that means you already gave up your vision. You gave up your check. See, I don't want the check. See, because the check don't belong to me. See, I didn't do the work. He did the work. See, when you go get paid, he said, oh no, Jesse over there, he said he worked all week. He was punching your card for you. See? So I get a check to him. See? So that's the game they're playing over there. Ishmael saying they're the rightful, because Sunnism, right? They're telling you Ishmael is the rightful inheritor, not Isaac. That's what they're telling you in Sunnism. Because Ishmael was the firstborn son. They said he had the right to inheritance. But Scripture tells us that Isaac had the right to it. He was the youngest son, but he was the rightful son, because that's the one that God blessed, right? He's the one that went through a sacrifice. He was the one that was son by Abraham's wife. Ishmael was a son by his maid. So the inheritance went to Isaac. So now they're saying false Israel is Isaac. That's the game they're playing. See? So that freezes you out. Sunnism freezes you out, because that means you can't be either one of them if that's them two over there. Right? So now coming to Sunnism and you accept that lie, so now you're not trying to go back and get paid. Because if you get paid, that means they got to pay you. They got to give that land, because that's your payment, because that's your inheritance. Do you understand, brothers and sisters? That's a game they're playing. The whole world is playing a game against you. That's the whole idea. Coming to my web says despise the fly. If you come in Sunnism, you're dead, because your vision is, if you come here, what vision will you have then? If you go in Sunnism, what is your vision? They have a vision as a nation. But what would your vision be? Just like over here, you have no vision because you have Master's vision. That means you're going to help Master complete his vision, accomplish his vision. If you go in Sunnism, you're helping them accomplish their vision. Where's your vision? Where's your vision in all of this? You go in Sunnism, where's your vision in that? Where is it? That's why we need these beacons. See? Because they're taking our vision away, they're stolen it, they got us in darkness, and now that's why the messenger of the covenant had to come. He's the last one that had to come. Why did the messenger of the covenant was the last one to come? After Elijah. He had to come clear. So because that's Joshua, right? So Elijah come, and then the messenger of the covenant come to his temple, but he's teaching about the covenant. He had to come. Why? Because that's what's all about, the covenant, the vision that they're taking away, stealing. He said he had to come and reinstate that vision. The message of the covenant, he had to reinstate it. Why? Because Elijah Muhammad came and told you about the vision. So why had it been reinstated if Elijah Muhammad already put it out there? because it was taken away from you. So he had to reinstate it again. That's why he said he had to clean up the mess. What was the mess he had to clean up? He had to come with full of soap because Farrakhan stole it, took the vision. If you don't believe, just ask them, are you going anywhere? No, that means he's taking the vision away from you. So if you're not going anywhere, then what is your vision for us, Farrakhan? Oh, we're gonna give you, we're gonna get reparations, we're gonna get through 6 states over here. Oh, that's your vision? That's the vision? Okay, if that's the vision, right? You're saying, okay, we're going on a trip, right, to California, right? And we're going tomorrow. But I don't see you packing. Did you get your car ready? You go check it out? You know? You make all the reservations and stuff? Then how are we going to California? You ain't prepared for it. Where's the reservations? You got the car checked out? You understand? You got food, you ain't, I thought we was going to, I thought we was going to, I thought we was going to California. So you said we're going, how can we prepare? We're going in the morning. So if he's going to get his 16, that's your vision. He claimed that's your vision. We're going to stay in America, right? We're going to stay in America. We're going to stay here, right? And we're going to get 6 states, and we're going to, all this stuff that Americans would burn up. The Bible tells you to burn up, but no, we're going to stay anyway. So I guess we're going to have asbestos suits on. But we're going to stay here in America, right? If that's the case. And we're going to get 16. How come you're not preparing the people for it? Elijah Muhammad was preparing for us to go back and have our own civilization, own nation. He started preparing us for nation building, getting it ready. But you took all that away. So how come you're not preparing for this vision that you claim that you're giving us now? How come you're not getting scientists and electricians and doctors and lawyers and mechanics and architects and engineers, scientists? How come you're not setting up schools and stuff for that kind of stuff, preparing people, training people to do that kind of stuff, how to operate their own business, how to make cooperate? How come you're not preparing if that's what your vision is? Because that ain't your damn vision. Because you're a Kil-A-Vision, you're a liar. You're a vision thief. You're a Kil-A-Vision. Because that's a lie. But if you how come you're not preparing for it? As the Quran said, if you was for real, you've been preparing for it. If you was going to go join the battle, you've been prepared for it. He ain't preparing you for nothing because he ain't giving you nothing, and he's there to make sure you have nothing. That's why we need these beacons. It's a call to action, brothers and sisters. Come and learn about yourself. Come and upload that angel so you can be a beacon for our people in this darkness. Because their whole business is cast the guys in darkness. And now we need light turned back on because they snatched the vision away. If you have no vision, you're in darkness. We give you that vision back. That's what they are. The beacons. They give you that vision back to restore it, so now you can see in the darkness. Kil-A-Vision. See? Your dream pillars. See? Say any kind of vision you want, except the real one. Dream pillars. Here, how about this vision? Try this vision on. Try this vision on. Try this vision on. Anything. See, distract you from your real vision. Keep you in darkness. How about this vision? How about that vision? How about Scientology? See? How about, what do they call it? A prophet, what do they call it? I forget what they call it. It's kind of Christianity, where prosperity Christianity, something like that. All these visions. Sharpton up there, right? The Democratic vision. See? Be a part of the Democratic Party. See? Prosperity Christianity. T.J. Jakes. And Deflo, Dollar Deflo Dollar, whatever. See? And then you got the one down there, right? He's a bishop. Oh, he really got it. He got it going on, right? See? All these visions, but not the Abrahamic covenant. See? And they learned from, they told them, no, don't sell that vision. And then Martin Luther King met with Elijah Muhammad. We had the photo. And he pressed that vision on him. Dared him to go out and talk about it. He went out there. The next day was dead. They told him, do not talk about that vision. Abraham had come, we don't want them thinking that vision. See? All these people, they're dream peddlers. See, vision is dreams. Your dreams. Dream peddlers. Dreams for sale every Sunday. We got a dream for you. But Abraham covenant ain't there. They're not talking about that, are they? See, so every got a new dream. Hey, don't like that one, try another one. You don't like that one, try another one. See? But the real one, you ain't getting that one. Getting all the artificial plastic stuff. Dream merchants. Dream peddlers. Michael and his angels go to war with Dragon and his angels. See? That's the vision war. Because he finally got to go to war. See? Get this crap straightened out. See? This war is the get rid of the imposter. The one that's appropriated our vision, appropriated our identity. False Israel. See? This war is that's Master Muhammad's open move. The vision war. See? Because they snuffed our vision out. Now he's going to war for us. See? In the most dramatic way. To prove that to establish our vision permanently. See, he's not playing. Because when we take out false Israel, right, then that lie, this whole world is built on right now, that lie, that vision is circling around, all the politics and everything is circling around that vision that they're the true seed of Abraham. Once you take that out, that's going to shock the world. It's going to snatch the world. It's going to snatch, just like they snatched our vision away, their vision is going to be snatched away overnight. Instantly, more than overnight, instantly. Just like they snatched away our vision, their vision will be snatched away instantly. So they're going to be without a vision in darkness. And they're going to be trying everything to do to establish that vision. Because all of a sudden, we the true seed of Abraham, because that wasn't. Because they're gone. That's not supposed to happen. See, that's the true seed. That's the vision. Vision means once you're there, you'll never be uprooted. You'll never be destroyed. That's yours forever. And all that land, all that belongs to you. But now if they destroy it, that means that vision is destroyed. The whole world comes crumbling down because the whole world right here, the world, the politics and everything that's controlled by America. America is controlling the vision of the world right now. America is controlling the vision of the world right now through false Israel. False Israel is the Lord of it, but they use America as the hammer, right, to enforce that vision. America is forcing that vision on the world. America is enforcing that vision upon the world. That's talking about 666, the three beasts there. I'm not going to that right here. But they enforcing that vision upon the world. The world's operating on that vision, supported and pushed by America. So when that vision is gone, this whole vision collapsed. This whole world idea, the reality that's based on the politics and everything collapses because it's based on the idea that they're the true seed of Abraham. If they're gone, this whole thing, reality collapses instantly. Instantly, you have to understand that. So there what's standing. Standing now, you got two things standing. We're true seed of Abraham, or they the spiritual seed of Abraham, what they're claiming. Because the imposters are gone. And so the only way they can establish their vision again, that they're the spiritual Israel, they have to eliminate us immediately. Immediately. See? That's one way. That's one way. Master Muhammad is waking you up, brothers and sisters, because he's knocking. Because see, they got you believing that too. So he knocks that down. That's going to destroy, right, your mind, because you operate on that same vision too. They got you in Christianity. You operate on the same vision. He's going to destroy that vision so you out of your mind, and then you're going to have to realize that you are the true seed of Abraham. And once you do that, then we're a nation again. Because now we have a common vision, because you can't escape it. Because if they're not, we must be. That's how Master Muhammad is going to take and give the fuel to wake you up. See? Because now you're going to listen to this message. Now you're going to be ready to listen to this message now. Because your reality has been knocked out of you. Because you believe in that vision too. Once it's gone, you have to recalibrate. What you going to do? You're going to come instantly realization, there was lying. All these preachers were lying to you. They're in trouble. All these preachers and reverends, they're in trouble. Because now they've been lying to you. You know you've been told a big lie, and now you know you see Abraham. That means that's why the four winds blow, that's when we unite. Because it says that's the time when that happens, the abomination of desolation, when that happens, that's when the four winds blow, that's when you come together. That's the time unprecedented trouble. All that triggers it. And that's Farad, Master Farad Muhammad is triggering that. Then you will listen to this. Then you come together. And once you have that vision, we're in heaven overnight. We're home, return overnight. But the devils and demons, they separate out from us. That's what's happening, brother and sister. Hope you understand. Hope you understand. See? The abomination of desolation. He's about to take it out. That's what it means. Something that cannot happen. And that's a total destruction. That means false Israel claiming that Israel, they cannot be moved. They cannot be moved. God said, if you return, they forget about the part you had to do 400 years first before you return. But they didn't disregard that part. See, because they didn't do 400 years slavery just before they return. Because you do 400 and then you reward right afterwards. So they kind of say, well, they did the 400 years, they did it 4,000 years ago, and now they get reward now. So, hey, I worked for you 10 years ago, right? Now I want my paycheck. Now I deserve my paycheck. See, that's kind of scam they're pulling. Exodus says they returned after 400 years of slavery. They returned what happened to 400 years of slavery. That's us. See? So they can't be moved. So if they are moved, if they are destroyed, right, that means they were liars. They weren't a true seed. That means then who is? And we got the credentials. We got the 400 years. We got 1619 to 2019. 400 years. We got 2020, the plague that killed the firstborn. That means the elderly. And Passover us. Black Africans is virtually unaffected by this. They didn't hide that from you. They didn't kill us like flies, they're saying. So we got the credentials. So that means it has to be us. And if we us, that means their whole world gets turned upside down, because that means they're not good people anymore. Because that means they stole this land. They're not just a spiritual seed of Abraham. That means this land didn't belong to them. They stole it. And that means we wasn't evil, wicked people. We was the true seed of Abraham. That means they was wicked, evil people, and they wasn't in prison us, right? We wasn't in their prison, right? They was evil ones in prison us for no reason. We're innocent people. So they was tormenting us. See, in their idea right now, we deserve to be slaves and everything else. But now that can't be, because we're true seed of Abraham. So now they're not good people anymore. They're evil, wicked people. Murderers, genocidal maniacs. Only way they can get around that is they gotta somehow prove that they're the spiritual seed of Abraham. The only way they can do that, because we got the spiritual proof. We got the proof, physical, spiritual, mathematical, that destroys instantly. They can't let that narrative take hold. They have destroyed instantly. That's what it says. That's why I said run to the mountain, because right now they're going to destroy you immediately. They restore that vision. Otherwise, their people have to come to realization that God's destroying them. This whole country's going down. They're about to go into captivity, right? They're evil, wicked people. They're devils. They don't want to think that way. The only way they can stop thinking that way, or not avoid thinking that way, is get rid of us. That means if we're not around and the false Israel's not around, they must be the spiritual Israel. And that means everything they did was right, because they putting the slave in us was right, because we was ham, we was deserved to be slave. Taking this country, it's Eden, right? Garden of Eden. And so the people here was just getting all his way. So they're supposed to be destroyed. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. That's why we need this beacon. Because when that happens, it's going to be intense darkness. So we need these beacons shedding that light. The light of what? The light of covenant. Restore that vision. See? So when that happens, you realize, how you going to realize you're true seed Abraham if you don't even know anything about the covenant? How can you realize you're true seed Abraham if you don't even know anything about the covenant? That's why we have the beacons. They're measure of the covenant. So then when you realize, oh, then you know who you are, it's time to go home. One vision, one nation, one vision. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I'm going to leave it there. Hope you understand. Assalamu alaikum.